Hello viewers, welcome to the program The Road to 2018 Elections. My name is Lovejoy L Jay Mtongwiza. I'm your host, and today on the program I have Elvis Mugari. Elvis Mugari is going to be contesting as an independent member for the Zaka West constituency. He's going to be sharing with us his vision as well as his plan for the constituency, which is largely poor because of the poor climatic conditions as well. Mugari, welcome to the program.
Welcome. Revolutionary greetings, Zimbabweans.
Right. So I have a small bio here for Mr. Mugari. Elvis Mugari is a socio-economic, political, human rights activist. Elvis was born on 27 September 1990 in Zaka. Mugari, who is Elvis besides what I've just said?
Okay. Elvis is, I can say, a political human rights activist. You have said my work as an activist, but I'm also a politician, because I understand that one point in time an activist would graduate to become a politician. So I've actually graduated to become a politician. I'm now a politician, and as you said, I was born on the 27th of September 1990. Then my activist life I've started in 2013. The very first day I met with the Tides Amaran, the Africa Unity Square, and then he introduced me to activism, and he talked about a better Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe for all, and he said the time to fight for the Zimbabwe we want is now. We have been, segregated. We have been struggling for a long time under the leadership of Robert Mugabe. Why as the young people can we stand and fight this kleptocratic regime? So that's how I get myself into activism from 2013 up to now. I'm an activist, but during the time I've graduated, as I said, to become a politician, so that I'll be able to push and implement some laws which are needed to be implemented. So I'm a holder of a diploma of global governance with the London Institute of Management, and currently I'm studying a degree in economics and political sciences combined program with the University of South Africa through distance learning.
Okay, that's quite a rich portfolio there. That's a good CV for you. Right, let's get into it, Mugari. What necessitated this move for Zaka West constituency? What was the motive behind?
Now, my motivation is I have seen for the past 37 years. First of all, I am a Zaka boy. I was born in Zaka, and it's my constituency, and I really, need or like my constituents with passion. I love my rural area with passion, but the state of development in Zaka West is to me it's appalling. It's disastrous as development is concerned. Zaka is underdeveloped. Zaka is in a sorry state. You can't imagine that out of 3,500 kilometers of road network in Zaka West, only 320 kilometers is paved. There's no business centers in Zaka West. There's no access to information, and you can't even operate a cell phone in other areas, in other words, in Zaka West constituency. So the dilapidated state of the constituency itself and the underdeveloped state of the constituency itself firstly motivate me to stand as an independent candidate. Why as an independent candidate? Because personally I have noticed that for the past 37 years we have invested in party politics, but party politics has failed to bring about the needed change, to bring about needed development in these rural constituencies. Because we voted for Zanu-PF, we voted for MDC before, but we didn't see any change as development is concerned. And I understand that development transcends party politics. You don't need to represent a certain political party to push for development in a certain constituency. Hence, it motivates me to stand as an independent candidate, to engage the people, to work with the people, so as to push for development.
All right. You are an independent, which means you are going to be financing your campaign, one.
Yes.
Two, if you win, suppose you win, and you're talking about Zaka being underdeveloped, and all that, how are you going to develop the area? What strategies, what mechanisms do you have in place to develop that area?
Now, thank you. My theme, or my campaign theme, is making Zaka West a hub of modern development. and I want to connect Zaka West, and I want to put into a global map, in a global village. We are now in a global village. So the idea or the aim is to put Zaka West on that map. Now, as an independent candidate, you finance yourself as finance is concerned. But now, I'm not working alone. And I'm working with development, organizations, both locally and internationally. And they're giving me, or they're showing interest in investing in Zaka West, invest in development programs. So number one is it's not about giving. No, now as Zimbabweans we need to change our way of doing things. Our scope of our politics really needs to change. It's not about going to the people and giving them something. Mm-hmm. Because the problem is, if I go to the people, or lately whenever we are being given an election, we are being given it as an instrument of decision making. But the tragedy is, how are we using a vote in Zimbabwe? Not only in my constituency, but for the past years, the electorate also was corrupt, and they are waiting for you to come and give them some money or some food so that they will vote or direct their votes towards you. But I'm saying we need to change that scope of politics, because if I go to them and donated 30,000, the reason why all the constituents remain underdeveloped is that the MPs during campaigns, they will be investing. It's a form of investment. Then after winning the constituents, now they'll start realizing the interest rate, which is the return on investment. They invested. They'll be waiting for. So the constituency remains underdeveloped because they are now, getting their return on investment.
But some people can argue that the reason why these food handouts or whatever, or maybe some T-shirts, is because those political parties that do that, they want to motivate people to vote for them, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you don't do that, how are you going to motivate people to vote for you?
Now, as I said, our politics for the past years have been politics of personality, and it was lacking issues. We are lacking issues in our politics. I go to the people and say, I will try to explain the issues. The people will not buy those issues, but they need you to give them food, you need to give them T-shirt. So as an independent candidate, I'm saying, especially in my rural constituency, and the people are rallying behind me, because I have said to them, let's work around issues. What are the problems affecting you in Zaka West constituency? What are the problems really taking Zaka West, back? And then let's sit together. I'm not here as I want to be your representative, but I will not. I will never ever dictate on you. I want to hear from the people. So the first step is to work with the people. Try to explain the issues to the people, so that the people will understand the issues first. After understanding the issues, it will be very easy for them to work with you. After they understand the issues, you give them the front chair or the front row to push for the development, or to push for the reduction of those problems affecting them in their constituencies. So the people in each and every constituency, the electorate needs to be given responsibilities. The more you give them responsibilities, the more you give them front chair or front line to push for development in their own constituents. They feel that they are involved. They feel that the constituency is ours. So they will push for development. And then you just supplement those efforts with a few T-shirts. You just supplement those efforts with few resources. But the main issue we have in our constituency.
You agree with me that those handouts are still going to be there?
They're still going to be there. But not only to be based with those handouts, not only based with food, or based with distributing T-shirt. I say those handouts must supplement the efforts, right? The efforts of how best can we work with the people to solve the issues within the constitution.
So what makes you different from the other political parties? Maybe it could be the ruling party, it could be the opposite parties. What makes you different? Why should people vote for you?
Now, number one, I am the young person. I'm 27. I participated before on by-elections on the 15th of June 2015. But then I was 23.
Under which party?
Independent candidate. Okay. I feel and I lost to psychology, Masivisa, and other. Yeah, but to me it wasn't a loss. It was a learning curve. I have learned a lot as politics is concerned, as running for a public office is concerned. Firstly, I'm young, and we know that any society which really needs to see development really needs to invest in the young people. Number one, the young people now constitute 69% of the entire population of Zimbabwe. And that figure itself, 69% of the entire population, shows, that as a country, we are going far. So we really need to invest in the young people. Number one. Number two, we are claiming our space as the young people in Zimbabwe. For the past 37 years, we have been neglected or been starved of our space as the young people in Zimbabwe. I was talking to someone yesterday here in Harare, and I was saying there are 3 ways to be on a dinner table. Number one is a diner, number 2 is a waiter, and number 3 is a food to be eaten. The young people of Zimbabwe, or the young people in Zimbabwe, have been on the dinner table for the past 37 years as a food to be eaten. And I was saying, this is our time to stand up now and say, enough is enough. The young people must stand up and be on the dinner table as diners and claim our space as diners in this country. So the people is really to vote. Then number 2, I'm totally different from other political parties, from other contestants from other political parties. Why? Because if you are an independent candidate, you report to the people, not to the party. You need to understand that whipping system is working. Our parliament in Zimbabwe, there's whipping system. That is the reason why you see, if you go to parliament today, there's a chief whip of a certain political party. There's a chief whip for Zanu-PF. There's a chief whip for MDC. What are the roles of those chief whip? Their role is to whip members of parliament, which are coming from their political parties. So whipping system is working. So you have to report to the party. You have to work for the party. But if I'm an independent candidate, there's no party I will report to. My office is the people. I will report directly to the people, not to the party.
But working for the party, I think it also comes in as a team effort, and now you're doing it alone. Isn't that too much work for you?
It's not too much work for me. Why? Because I'm privileged that I maybe it's because I'm a local boy in Zaka, and a lot of people knows me. I participated in a lot of programs here in Harare and in Masvingo as well, and even in my constituency. And I'm pushing even Zaka rural development, to look on the development of our roads in Zaka West, and upgrading of our bridges. So people really knows me and really knows who is Elvis Mugari. So it's not an easy, it's not a complex task to me, because I have a lot of young people in Zaka who are supporting me. So the moment I throw my head, the very first day I throw my head, saying I want to stand as an independent candidate, I want to represent you, most young people in the constituency rally behind me. The greatest resource is not capital. The greatest resource is human capital. It's people. I have people on the ground. That's the greatest resource I have.
Okay, so you're talking about young people claiming their space, and whatnot. And apparently you're not the only one. There are a lot of young guys who are coming up as independent candidates.
They are young.
And this has been done, especially since maybe Father Emma. I think she set the tone. But my question is, do young people really have what it takes to bring about development as independent candidates?
Right. Number one, what makes or what pushed is not it's not that Father Emma set a benchmark, but we were all. If you see, most of us, I'm an independent candidate, but I was in politics. I was a national member of the People's Democratic Party Youth Movement. But we have recognized that as we're heading for an election, we have not been given enough space as the young people in politics. The young people are not being given enough space. That is the reason why you saw most young people divorce their political parties and decide to stand as an independent candidate. Now, coming back to your question, the young people, yes, all it takes to push for needed development in the country or in Zimbabwe. I want to ask you a simple question, and I want us to reflect in history, and I'll pose a question. What was the age of Henry Mojo Stanley when those guys crossed the Cape Coast to come here in Africa to colonize us? Here in Africa, what was the age of Nelson Mandela? What was the age of what was the age of Lufe Bugani? What was the age of Oliver Tambo? What was the age of all other African icons? Those guys were very young, but with one thing, conviction. that Africa will be liberated. Now the young people of today, we are young, and this is the time we really need to have one thing. We might not have money, we might not have resources, but we as the young people of today, we have one thing. That is Zimbabwe as a country can realize its potential if only can invest in young people.
Interesting. This is the program, the road to 2018 elections. My name is Lovejoy, and in the studio I have Elvis Mugari, who is running for the Zaka West constituency as an independent member. I'll come back to you, Mugari. My independent candidates, they have not really been accepted much into the community. You can point at one or two figures who have done well. Maybe you can say Professor Jonathan Moyo before you rejoined Zanu-PF, and then you can point at Themba Mliswa is doing quite well. Imimi, do you think uti muchanyeto abvumwa nevanhu kunzi yes vamugari ndimi mauya without something tangible? As I reiterated earlier,
Lovejoy, I said now we are changing, or politics is shifting, and you know the electorate is actually opening their eyes after selling the doctrine, our doctrine as independent candidate, that what we really need to achieve is to work with you, the people. As independent candidates, we report to the people, we don't report to the party. The reason why you didn't see development of constituencies is because we voted for party, you know, representatives, and they were doing that at party level, not at community level, or at what level. Us as independent candidate, we are coming, and I assure you, go to the urban areas, do a survey, even here in Harare. Approach some of even on Arungo Farm town, ask them the same question. They will tell you it's better to embrace independent candidates than party politics. Why? Because number one, as we speak, and as we are heading for 2018 elections, there's no light in opposition. I do not lie to you, I want to be very open. There's no light. There's serious confusion in the opposition fraternity. Where are we heading? So it's better to invest in independent candidates, because they're only coming with programs to push for development. As I said earlier, you don't need, you know, to represent a certain political party to push for development. Party development transcends party politics, especially in urban areas where the same development or the same initiatives are being paid for by the people. So it's better to vote for what? For independent candidates, because the problem is if you vote for an MDC, so whenever time for development comes, the MDC member of parliament will only working with MDC supporters and activists. The Zanu-PF member do the same. But as independent candidates, whether if I want to work with Zanu-PF, I work with MDC, I work with ours, it's about inclusion. We work with the people. Whether you are party A, you are party B, you are party C. What we want to see is development. Whether it's coming from Zanu-PF, it's coming from MDC, it's coming from PDP, it's coming from, we as independent candidates, we work with all the people. So ours is about inclusion.
All right. You are a young person, you are a young candidate. What are the youth programs that you have lined up, specifically for the youth programs?
In my constituency?
Yes.
Right. I'm very happy to announce that there is a Mugari trophy, and they started to play this trophy 2016. Now the idea is to bring the young people, especially in our constituencies or in this country, through sport. Whether you support political party A, you support political party B, you support political party C, the young people really needs to be brought together. But I said, how best can I bring the young people together? And I have decided to invest in sport, right? And I've introduced the Mugari trophy. So what they do, they'll be practicing and they play this this trophy, this tournament on holidays, on April, on August and December as well. So last year December, during Christmas, they played, and I'm really happy that I'm helping the young people in Zaka West to realize their potential. Number one is sport is concerned, because we have teams like Triangle FC coming to those tournaments to identify talent, to pick some of the guys. And I'm happy to announce that Tapiwa Denguro of Ward 17 is now playing for Triangle Football Club, because I brought him and I helped him so that he realized his potential. Okay. And talent research, the this guy is brilliant, and wakamtora wakaenda naye.
Okay, that's social development. How about
that's social development.
Economic development.
Now, as economic development is concerned, there is an idea of biogas production. We understand that it's a rural constituency. We have cow dung. We have even, matoti ukwaya nechi can produce wonderful energy. Zaka West, Zaka West, it's becoming a desert. It's what? It's becoming a desert. Why? Because there's no other source of fuel. The only way when you are not survivor kutema meat nechi. So I'm saying as an alternative for pushing for development, I have introduced the biogas production plant so that the hope this is now at ward level. And if resources permits, as we are mobilizing and as engaging investors, we're doing the same at district and at provincial level. So the idea is to push for those project to be fully implemented at household level, so that each and every household has a small biogas plant. And that biogas plant, they'll be feeding it with cow dung or even waste. All my animals, even human waste, can be used to generate power, to generate gas. So it is that the project itself is open in development. I'm engaging other NGOs. I want to introduce solar energy. The issue is about using sustainable utilization of energy in this rural constituency. It's about so I'm engaging, I can't name those organizations, but I'm engaging international players so that we invest on solar energy.
So they are funding you to do regime change?
No, it's not doing regime change. To push for development, Lovejoy is not pushing the agenda of regime change. After all, as I said earlier, when in a global village, Zaka West must be put on this track. So I'm working with them. They are international partners, and I gave them my project, and they called me. I was 2 months ago. I was in Kenya defending the same project, and our project is now on the final stage. If all goes well, they will come to invest. So those are the programs I'm pushing: biogas production, solar energy, road construction, and development of business centers. We have business centers. In Zaka West don't have a single growth point. Jerera is no longer a growth in Zaka West. Is now in Zaka Central. So in all of Zaka, we have only Jerera as a growth point. But we have small business centers. We have small townships. We need to develop those small townships in my constituency to become a growth point, so that the young people in those areas, the young people in those communities, will find themselves helpful in developing those areas, and they will be doing so for the next generation of Zaka West constituency. So I have a lot of programs in line that if I manage to work with the people and other partners to push for those development, Zaka West will be for sure a hub of modern development. All
right, let me take you back. You said you started this political journey when you wanted to contest for Highfields. What projects were there? Did you have any program? Any?
No, openly speaking, it was a by-election. It just comes, and by then I was young, but I said I have to try this. So someone told me that MDC is not participating. They've withdrawn their participation on those by-elections because they were citing, electoral reforms and uneven ground of the electoral, process. So I said, no, we must. We can't let Zanu-PF go it alone. Let's go. We are not legitimizing electoral reforms on uneven ground, but Zimbabwe is a democratic country. We have to participate, and we have to show that Zimbabwe is a democratic country. Okay. So someone told me before 3 days to go for a nomination. Then I have to run, and I have to say I have to try this. And but I have to go there. Then I go to the nomination court. My man, then I start. But the idea was I started to work with to engage the people. Even area, I thought. That's where I developed the issue of dealing with issues in our politics, not dealing with the personalities. I went there and I said, Now, Highfields is a capital city of Portugal, in Harare. How best can we work together to reclaim our roads in Highfields? How best there's no water, there's poor service delivery, social amenities providers are eloquent in their silence. How best can we engage them? How best can we push? And some of the people you can't imagine. I got 777 votes. You see.
Which is quite commendable.
It's quite commendable. I had 777 people in Highfields West. It was quite commendable. People were following in. Those people were understanding issues that I discussed. Could be willing to push for issues. I didn't even a single day gave them a rise in psychology. I actually rise. I say one point in time, psychology come to my stage and I address and I got a small Ghanaians and people on my stage. But we were there. But people had to not. There's fear, there was intimidation, and there's very tricky. I have realized one thing: there's tricky to contest on a by-election rather than in an
open election, general
election. Because in a by-election, all the party resources will be siphoned to a single political party. Even Mugabe himself come to Highfields to address. But if it is a general election, it's one man for himself. There will be more constitutions, so it will be easy. So it was very difficult for me, but I didn't consider it as a defeat. I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot.
So let me go back to my projects. Biogas, solar. They are coming now ahead of election. Isn't this some sort of vote buy?
No, it's not. It's not. As biogas production, I've started in 2016.
Okay.
And now solar energy this year. 2017, early 2027, around March.
The reason why I'm asking is we have a tendency where, in fact, we have seen a lot of these things happening whenever we are going for an election. Certain MP or a certain party comes with a number of projects, which they say, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, or maybe they just start the project ahead of elections, and then after the elections, they go quiet. So, I'm just asking.
No, it's a prominent question. But I'm saying I have started the project, the Biogas project, 2016, and it's currently running. We have at least 7 families in my constituency. There's 8 wards, so and each ward has at least 3 villages. In a village, my ward pama ward leaders are equal to Zaka. Paimba zavu 7. And are helping and so project it's not vote buying, but I'm saying no time and I'm pushing for development. Why those people we have elected them before, but it my programs. But after election, try me this time. I'm coming for development for sure. The people of Zaka West really need to try me and see could he because but I'm coming with the programs or the development framework on the table, and I will engage the people, not in him, but as the people of Zaka West, we need to push for this program. Actually, some of them says, why can't we do my contributions so that we assist? Because this is our project. It's not your project as our aspiring MP. This is our project. That if you want, so they have set committees and they are fundraising on their own. They are putting contributions. Some of them. We have the Magura. High students, Vakambu Babachkoro, Indakambo Zapasendandon, Vakambu Babasendandon, and they're coming, and Varitama subscriptions, and we need to develop our roads, we need to develop, we need to push for those programs. Come on, in a framework program, engage us, we fundraise, and then we push for a program. So I'm working with the people. The idea that I'm not saying I will do A, B, C, D for you. I'm saying, as the people, let's do A, B, C, D, not I. I'm being given the mandate by the people.
Ah, interesting. It sounds like one of those parties were not but at the end of the day,
I will invite you next weekend.
Thank you, Mugari. Thank you for giving us some insights. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, you were part of the people who were lobbying for electoral reforms in 2016 under the banner, what was that? NERA. NERA and some opposing parties. Right. Patale nas NERA may lobby 2 years ago. Are you happy with the progress? And if yes, what are you happy with? And if no,
now the issue of electoral reforms it is really a stressing issue, especially in a political fraternity in Zimbabwe. There is no electoral reforms. We are not happy. We pushed and we fight before, but one of the very things Chatai we done is independability of ZEC. It's independence.
You wanted Rita Makarao to go.
We wanted Rita Makarao
and she has gone.
Now, Rita Makarao has gone. But what forced her to go? What really pushed her?
The new dispensation.
To me, Lovejoy, I don't see anything new about the dispensation. To me, it's the continuation of the old order. Why? Because I'm not seeing the difference. We were saying, number one, we need, in terms of electoral reforms, number one, taiti tiri kuda isukupiwa space, you know, as media is concerned. And up to today, ZBC, you know, Zanu-PF from 8 o'clock to 8:30 or to 8:45, then it was in 15 minutes. We are not seeing the opposition or other independent candidates are not being given media space. They are not being given free time in those radios. So we're now depending with the guys like you. We're now depending with the social media. We're now depending, but other temporary kudotito kokona kuti Zaka West aione inonzwa radio, inonzwa ZBC news radio. Ndio inobata koko TV aibati koko. Inonzwa radio, but so we are not being given the same space utiende pa radio. So that temporary kuzaka ko inondinzwa kuti Elvis Mugari was on radio. Aizvinzwe. Temporary kuzaka cannot log on kuti iende pa internet kuverenga news. Aizvinzwe. So that is the tragedy, and to us as politicians, it's a tragedy of gigantic proportion that we are not being given space as media is concerned. Number two, the level ground, free. What we need to do is a conducive environment for elections. We know for the past 37 years, my elections, especially Zanu-PF, were characterized by coercion, were characterized by intimidation, characterized by vote buying, characterized by, you know, violence. A lot of things has happened, and we are seeing that. The recent utterance by Rugeje, retired General Rugeje, saying he's the Zanu-PF PC, saying we are going to unleash Masoja by elections at 20. It really tells that Zanu-PF Zaire, the recent statements that we are going to push for freedom, those are political statements. We know those are political statements. So
you don't believe in whatever the president is saying?
I don't believe in whatever the president is saying, because we have seen what has changed. As I said, this is not a new dispensation. Chachinja is the driver. The bus is still the same. The bus is still the same. It's still Zanu-PF, and we know that the DNA is Zanu-PF is violence. The only way they know on conflict resolution is to use violence. So, as we are heading for elections, they are preparing. Even in rural areas, they are threatening. Few days ago, they were writing material numbers, especially even in my constituencies. It was they are threatening the people. They are threatening the rural the electorate. So, there is no electoral reforms, but we can't say no reforms, no election. We have to go and participate in those elections.
But there have been calls, especially from the opposition front, mainly the MDC Alliance, to boycott elections, citing and even playing fields Mamchango Taurai, Nima electoral reforms Mamchango Taurai. So, as the independent front, Mrugita say, what's your take on that boycott elections?
No, to us, we can't boycott elections. To me personally, it's selling out.
By not boycotting elections, you are also endorsing we are good.
We might not be good, but the issue is fighting for the people.
But then if you go to my elections, no,
I'm getting your point that us going to an election, in other words, we are legitimizing the rule. Exactly. But it's not that the issue is, all right, we are participating us today as a country. The people are struggling in Zimbabwe. You know, Lovejoy, even if I go with you, even in my constituency, people are really struggling. There's abject poverty. People are surviving less than 25 cents a day. Others, they are finding it very difficult to put a single meal on their tables. People are struggling. So, it's because of Zanu-PF. Because Zanu-PF were in government for the past 37 years. Now, And nowadays we are boycotting the elections because Zanu-PF are not my electoral reform. They will go, they will run a race. Mugabe he won the race. And for sure, you see, now we can't boycott the elections. Let's go to our constituents. Let's try to invest more. It's possible. That is why you want parliament members opposition. It's possible. We might not win the presidential, but we might win Masita Kawanda in parliament. It helps to push for development in our respective constituents, and even to come to parliament with a single voice and push for the amendment of our constitution and put for the amendment of our constitution so that we push for the electoral reforms we really need.
All right, let's say we go for elections without having any changes to the electoral reforms in anything else, right? And then you lose my elections. Why? Will you say kuti takaluza zuri free and fair?
Now, it's not our takaluza. Tajiwa my election, but now I want you to take kutora tiende ku election nakatika
but the moment I'm not tajiwa, but azisi zvakucompromise zvamakambotaura kuti inini makuda muri kuenda but muri kufara nezviripo.
It's easy to fight the outcome of the election if you are not happy. Look what happens in Kenya. Those people wana Raila Odinga in the NASA coalition worked tirelessly hard. Vakanga vane a situation room, an election situation room. Vakanga vane vanhu vanga vari paground vachiona, and they were taking each and every information and they were feeding it, and the same election room was sending directly to South Africa. Look how kune command centers zvaite, and mara irregularities esakaitika in the electoral process from the day one, from voter registration, from voter inspection to the election day. Zvazviripo, and they produced that dossier of information during the court, and that is the reason why they have managed to fight, the outcome of the election. I'm saying we might not have a free ground here in Zimbabwe or a level ground, but we need to participate. What we need to invest in is to invest about my irregularities are looking in the political field, so that we'll be able to challenge. Look what happened in 2013 or 2000. MDC with Morgan Changirai said they want to contest it against the outcome of the results, but Babasna those are information, the needed information to support what they were saying. What we need to do is, let's record. I was talking with Comrade Bondo of MDC recently, and I was telling them, and he was saying, you come as independent, you guys want to divide the vote. That's why, no. We don't. There's no such thing like dividing the vote. Vote can any opposition, voter opposition, voter independent voter. But the idea is, let's invest. Munyaye kuona, yeku identify, neku push those irregularities, so that we'll be able to contest whenever the electoral outcome.
Saka, no contest, but with caution.
With caution, yes. And especially in my constituents, I have some videos. I even show you those same videos after the videos of the people taking numbers. The video of the people are meeting what you to rice of vote buying. My video one I found by door to door. This is biometric voters row. Now I have those videos. So it comes that I want to contest the result outcome for Zaka West constituents. I can do that. But I have those of information. We have to contest, but with the caution, as you rightfully say.
Right. Still, my question stands. Yaguti, you are going to contest, and if you lose, you are going to challenge my simply because you'll be citing my irregularities, right? Yes. What about in the event that you win? Are you going to say Taka win and then you keep quiet?
No, we have won, but we have sided and we won, but the field wasn't level, right?
Saka, you behave with that winning personal.
Yes, but as you are winning, as you are taking. Doesn't
this now implicate you as people who have won without personal free and fair elections?
No. Right, we have won, but there's no free and fair election. I have won, maybe Zaka West, but Japana free, level ground. But now I have won. Credit to myself, I have won. Personal my election, but as you are taking leadership, let's make sure that we invest in making, the level, the play field level, and pushing for electoral reform, so that as time goes on, we have a conducive environment for those elections.
All right, thank you, Mugari. Nekutipa kwa murutipa is the program, The Road to 2018 Elections. If you want to participate in this program, please get in touch with us. That's a 263 chat on our Twitter handle, a 263 chat, and on Facebook as well as a 263 chat. You can just inbox us, and then we will be able to get in touch with you, or you can get in touch with me directly. That's Lovejoy Mtongwiza on 0771 666 865, and then we can always talk about my issues as we head towards the 2018 elections. Right, Mugari, as we wrap up this program, the president Mnangagwa went to Davos recently. What's your take on whatever happened there, on whatever he did?
Now, you know, kana marora kana warora Lovejoy kana nomukadzi kumba anenge ari mwenga. Vanhu vakawanda vanomuona indi mwenga anotracta tsika, so that they will say Lovejoy arora mukadzi wakanaka, but 3 years or few years down the line we will start to see macolors emunhu. There's nothing really new about Mnangagwa or President Mnangagwa visiting Davos. There's nothing new. One point in time Tendai Biti was there. One point in time Morgan Changirai was there. One point in time Washman Ngube was there. One point in time Arthur Guseni Mtambara was there. But nothing has come out from those trips. They are there and they are discussing. Davos is only a platform that a president can go or whoever can go and discuss about how best can we push for development in their respective. But you can't push after discussion. What's next? You need investors, FDI, to engage you after hearing what you are discussing. But now on this case, President Mnangagwa visit to Davos was, to sell Zimbabwe, right, on the international market. That politics and economics, there is a positive relationship between the two. The political environment itself in Zimbabwe is conducive. The government of Mnangagwa itself, the government of the day, is illegal, according to me. Is what? Illegal? Illegal, because they take power through coup. That involvement was, so to me it's illegal. But the issue, what Mnangagwa was trying to push out there, as he are roaring around Africa or around the world to meet my president, is to seek for legitimacy. Because he knows that what they do, Zawakaita wasn't illegal. It's an illegal move. Wakaita Wakatra power through. We all know that Mugabe angasinga kwanza ku resign personal involvement of Yemasoji. Sa ku resign wakata Mugabe, but it wasn't it wasn't legal. So what they are seeking is legitimacy. The government itself is illegal. So there is no a single investment who will come to invest. Munyigayano Zodi. The government itself of the day is illegal. The EU, they've said they're willing to work with President Mnangagwa. The UK, they've said they want to work with Mnangagwa. They said they want to work with Mnangagwa. Did you listen to their condition? They said we are willing to work with Mnangagwa soon after the general election in Zimbabwe, because we want to see the issues of human rights and the rule of law in Zimbabwe. We want to see, so in other words, later on, even if Mnangagwa won, they will come to work with them. Why? Because Mnangagwa will be now a legitimate president, because I endorse Wanivan through the election. Whether the election is free or is peaceful or not, or free or not. But one go out here, this is an mandate in the Mnangagwa. I mandate in the army, and he's doing that for the army, and then he reports to the army. My wings are clipped as we speak, because but no, kumacha we in unison of saying Mugabe must go. But we went rejuvenating and we want to legitimize Mnangagwa's rule. On that Saturday, we marched and but I remember vividly, because I covered that march. I remember vividly placards of Mnangagwa. Please, please, come back. Zimbabweans, those were part of the MDC. What we did, the mistake Yakatwane opposition that day, is to endorse a certain political faction, Zanu-PF. So why is it now people are crying foul when they endorsed the same faction they are saying is illegitimate today? No, they think that the person himself is totally different from Robert. But as I said, it's the continuation of the old order. There's no difference. Unless the difference is that he just went to the night meetings, maybe Mona Mujaya, but we really need to fight. but Mugabe musiyano ndokuti Mugabe anga ane sleeping sickness now ED has kurara.
But suppose he wins the presidential elections, would you be willing to work with him?
If he won the election free and fair, I'll be actually joining Zanu-PF. I'll be actually joining Zanu-PF. Because the idea is not about being part A, B, C, D. The idea is to push for the needed development of our country. So if ED start to push for real development in this country, real development.
So if ED wins legitimately, you join Zanu-PF.
If he wins legitimately, if he wins legitimately and push for real development, and we see
what's real development in your own words?
My real development in my own words is to see my issues at Zimbabwe. We have my crisis. We have national crisis at Zimbabwe. There are no jobs. Cash crisis. If he managed to solve that thing, he said I will do that in 100 days. Now, Mazua, it's more than 65 days now. Cash crisis kind of bang on Maria, kind of bang on accused. So his feeling is the same. And I was telling someone, I wrote on my Twitter a few days ago, and Dakata Zanu-PF, and I was saying, you can put Matengas in the street and you can put, but you can't put the same thing as Mariwani. You cannot put the same thing as against the economy. What really is, it's real policy to push for real policy that will push for real development. So want to see those issues being dealt with in Zimbabwe. If Mnangagwa managed to do that, surely I will join Zanu-PF and will push for the same thing.
You know what? I will keep this recording, and then let's just hope he wins legitimately, as you're saying. And then I would want to see you crossing the floor to Zanu-PF.
Yes.
All right. What's your pledge to the people in Zaka? They want something tangible. What's your pledge as we wrap up the program?
They want something tangible. I would do two pledges. The first pledge is of people of Zaka West. And the second pledge is the people of Zaka West and Zimbabwe in particular. The second will be for peace as we're waiting for election. Right. My pledge to the people of Zaka West is we are the people of Zaka West. We have a single constituency, Zaka West. It really needs our efforts. Let's work together as the people. Let's work together to push for needed development in our constituency. The people of Zaka West really needs to stand up now. And then fight. But I want to assure them, I pledge to work for them. I want to assure them that them and me, we can do better in Zimbabwe. You need to tikabatana people of Zaka West and vakata rally behind my projects and Rukuya now. I am for good. I am for development in my constituents. I am for prosperity and progression of Zaka West as a constituency. So let's work together, the people of Zaka West. Then my last pledge is that for peace, Zaka West and the Zimbabweans in particular, as we are heading for 2018 elections and Zatagutanga a campaign period. What is important in our life as Zimbabweans and as Africans? Undu as Zimbabweans. Section 50 of the Constitution talks about Ubuntu, talks about Unwedu, do Wakakosha, and we really need to preserve that. And I want to say to the Zimbabweans, and I want to say to the people of Zaka West, there is no in the market a single politician worth killing for. There is no a single politician in the market worth that you can remove someone's limb. Let's unite. We have a single country. We have a single constituency. We really need to build our country. We really need to build our constituency. Let's work together. Let's unite and push and preach peace every time. And I want to finish my words at Dr. Joshua Ngomo, saying peace begins with you, peace begins with me, and peace begins with all of us.
He needs you in this time of need. That's the program, the road to 2018 elections. We had Comrade Elvis Mugari, who is running for the Zaka West constituency as an independent member. Remember to log on to our social media platforms. That's on Twitter at 263chat. On Facebook, that's 263chat, and remember to use the hashtag ZimVotes18 for any of our election-related programs. And if you'd want to participate, if you're a politician or if you're an aspiring MP or presidential candidate, if you'd want to participate in this program, just get in touch with us. That's is on our social media platforms, and then on my individual capacity, you can just get in touch with me. That's at Lovejoy Mtongwiza on Twitter, and then Lovejoy Mtongwiza as well on Facebook. Or you can get in touch with me on my number. That's 0771 666 865. That's it for this week's for this day's program. Let's meet in other programs, and remember to keep on interacting with us.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.